In the early 1960s, Mayo found himself in a power struggle against people who didn't believe in such an extreme collectivization of all life. Pushing Mayo out of the spotlight would be tricky because he is the pole star of the Chinese Revolution.
Now Chairman Mao, a communist, ends the war with hopes of uniting his country. And with so much hate from his own board, Mao turned to another communist ally, the Soviet Union. The partnership was only a brief time when Mao found out Khrushchev would never let him be a full partner when he denies Mao nuclear weapons. After parting ways from the Soviet Union, the system of China begins to fail.
The Great Leap Forward planned to develop agriculture and industry. Mao believed that both had to grow to allow the other to grow. Industry could only prosper if the workforce was well fed, while the agricultural workers needed industry to produce the modern tools needed for modernization. To allow for this, China was reformed into a series of communes. Farmers were told to stop farming and produce steel. The commune provided all that was needed, including entertainment. Soldiers worked alongside people. The population in the commune was subdivided. 12 families formed a work team. 12 work teams formed a brigade. Each subdivision was given specific work to do. Party members oversaw the work of a commune to ensure that decisions followed the correct party line. By the end of 1958, 700 million people had been placed into 26,578 communes. However, the government did all that it could to whip up the enthusiasm for the communes. Propaganda was everywhere, including in the fields where the workers would listen to political speeches as they worked. The communes provided public address systems. Everyone involved in the communes was urged not only to meet set targets, but to beat them. If the communes lacked machinery, the workers used their bare hands. Major constructions were built in record time. Though the quality of some was dubious, the figures for steel, coal, chemicals, timber, cement, etc. all showed huge rises through the figures started at 1958 were low. Grain and cotton production also showed major increases in production. However, in 1959, things started to go wrong. In a result of famine sweeps China, experts believe 20 million people may have died in this famine, making it the worst famine in all of human history.
Chairman Mao, who would never admit he made a mistake, now has other problems when the rise of other leaders in China's government, such as Liu and Deng, threaten his power. Once again, Mao sits back and formulates a plan where he plans to destroy China in order to save it. But in order to do so, he would need help from one person. Chairman Mao needed help from his fourth wife, Madame Mao. She had been an actress in her younger days, and with that, it would hold the key to the Cultural Revolution. She began by releasing a series of attacks on capitalist artists. Madame Mao became the army's artistic advisor. She banned feudal and Western art. Madame Mao narrowed it down to a few operas and plays that people watched over and over again. Most of the plays about brave revolutionaries fighting the capitalists, the music, and dance is replaced by machine guns and heroic poses. This was her way of rewriting Chinese culture, brainwashing a whole nation with her propaganda films. She cut off all art from all other countries and forced billions to watch the films she put out, especially kids. With the influence of Madame Mao's propaganda attacks, Chairman Mao would have the power to build the army he would need to tear down the government, who he does not trust.
When the government would speak against Mao, this would send the students into an uproar. Universities in Beijing started Red Guard, which spread quickly across the nation to middle schools and even grammar schools. Mao went to say that he thought young people should rebel, and so they did. He went on to convince them to attack something that is so fundamental, which is the education system. Young people destroyed their schools. They started attacking their teachers and principals. It was a cultural revolution, so everything they had been taught they were told by Mayo that it was wrong, so they even burned books. Schools completely stopped. They were told to spend their time contributing to the revolution, so they spent their time making revolutionary signs and practicing combat for the Red Guard.
Chinese military leader of the Red Army, Lin Biao, contributed to the Communist 22-year struggle for power and held many government posts. He played a prominent role in the first several years of the Cultural Revolution when he started the Red Guard. He started by giving them a red book filled with teachings of Mao's sayings, and they were to memorize it. But in 1971, he allegedly sought to remove Chairman Mao and seize power. His plot was discovered, and he died under strange circumstances. After a while, Chairman Mao realizes that he is running a chaotic country, so he teams up with Prime Minister, and together they issue PLA to crack down on the violence that is occurring in the country. Prime Minister and the U.S. Secretary of State begins to work together on diplomatic issues and facing the challenges on getting Chairman Mao and President Nixon to sit down and work out their issues. On February 21st, 1972, President Nixon lands on China's ground. This was a turning point for China. It was the end of their isolation. They began to reconnect with the world and began to trade. But unfortunately, September 9th, 1976, Chairman Mao dies.